Hey everybody, welcome to Sync. This is a special video for all the Sync parents. So this is Sync 1.0 Parent Edition. Just wanted to get everybody on the same page. I'm sure you've heard about Sync right now, but I just wanted to kind of speed through some of the details so that we are all on the same page and hopefully answer some questions that maybe you have. First of all, I just want to say hello to you as a Sync parent. Thanks for being willing to let your student be a part of Sync, this new ministry of our youth group that's very discipleship oriented. And I'm really glad for your willingness and grateful for the willingness and eagerness of you and your student to be a part of this. So high five to you guys for being willing to kind of step out and try something new here that we're very excited about and that we've been praying about for a long time. Got to give a big shout out to all of our life coaches, both the ones that have said yes already and the ones that are still thinking about it and praying about it, and the ones that I believe will say yes in the future as God moves them. So, and also want to give a big shout out to KayLynn Pentecost. By the way, KayLynn Pentecost is the leader of Sync. I've asked her if she would head this up, and she's doing a great job. I'm really grateful for her and her leadership over this. I have her phone number here. If you don't have this in your phone, there it is. Go ahead and save that. It's 208-412-1967. So she will be the point man and the contact person and the leader of Sync. So encourage you to keep in touch with her if you have any questions about Sync. She'll be glad to help. She's doing a great job and grateful for her. So yeah, just wanted to touch base a little bit about why is it called Sync. Basically, long story short, because we want to bring together two things that have been apart for too long, and we want to connect them. And those two things are the younger generation and the older generation. The older generation has a lot to offer, but they don't really have a venue all the time to disciple, to mentor, to serve as a life coach and point the younger generation toward Jesus Christ. So there's a gap that it has been between these two things, these two generations, for too long. And so we want to resolve that. We want to bring unity where there hasn't been that unity. We want to bring connection where there hasn't been that connection. We want to synchronize the older and the younger in spiritually healthy discipleship and mentoring and life coaching relationships that are all about Jesus Christ and that help raise up a young generation to be discipled in Christ. And so we want to do something that we feel like is kind of new, and we want to synchronize the young generation with the older generation in a discipleship, authentically Christian context that is spiritually beneficial and healthy and pointing students straight toward Jesus Christ with a live one-on-one life coach that is there for you and that has a life worth emulating. So, and we're going to unpack some of that here in a second. So what is Sync all about? I'm going to sprint through this and try to keep this video short and sweet. There's this thing that I call UFO abductions, where students will be, they'll disappear after high school and we won't see them again. And they just, because they have no friendships, they have no relationships outside the four walls of the youth room, so they'll disappear. And that's a sad trend across America. So we want to be proactive and help prevent that and say, no, you do have somebody in this church outside the four walls of the youth room that loves you, that knows you, that has you in their phone, that wants to hang out with you, that has your back, that will listen to you, that is here for you and wants to disciple you and mentor you and be there for you and point you towards Jesus Christ. And they care about you and they want that relationship with you. And so after they graduate from high school, one of our goals is that Sync will help them not disappear, help them not be UFO abducted and just disappear, because they do have someone else in our Bethel Church family that they have a relationship with. And that'll kind of, we might get into that a little bit later. So that's one goal. Another goal is we want, this is the big one, I think, but authentic Christian discipleship of your student. This happens with a handpicked life coach who has a life worth emulating and who is already pointing others toward Jesus Christ. That's one of the big things that we're all about at Sync. That is the big one. Also, we want the life coach. All the life coaches have survived the criteria-crucible, and this is where they have a background check. They've been approved either by me or by KayLynn or by Pastor Doug or by one other pastor, or maybe all of the above. But we have double checked on them. We've gotten good feedback from them and a green light thumbs up from them from more than one person. And they've been prayed over and they've been handpicked. and they have been matched up based upon what kind of a, what everything we know about them and everything we know about the student. Is this a good match? And can they be patient with youth? Do they have a heart and a capability and a tool chest to be able to work with youth? And so we look at all these things, but those are just a few of the ones that we look at. But the life coach has survived the crucible of our sync criteria, and so we're very excited about them. And it's not easy to do, but we know no one is flawless. Only Jesus is perfect, but we are very excited about our life coaches. Also, we want intergenerational connectivity and life impact for Jesus Christ. And that kind of goes back to what I was referring to before, the church glue, where after they graduate, they don't just detach from our church, but there's stickiness there. There's something that keeps them attached, keeps them connected, and it keeps them glued to our church family. So we think that Sync can be a positive church glue to help keep students as a part of our church family and help be the church to them as they graduate from high school. And we want Sync to be fun. Sync is all about fun as well. We want it to be not just, another sober, too serious thing that might be another church program that's kind of just very serious. But we are serious about discipleship, but we also want students to look forward to this. We want them to look forward to being with their life coach, and for discipleship to be authentic and fun at the same time, for it to be real and life-changing and pointing students toward Jesus Christ, but also to be a highlight of their week at the same time. And we believe that prayerfully we can do both of those. It can be authentically discipleship-based, pointing students toward Jesus Christ, and it can be something that students want to do, and they don't want their hangout time during that particular week with their life coach to end. We want it to be something that they very much look forward to every time. Here's a little bit about the structure of Sync. So I'm going to divide up a month into 4 weeks, weeks 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so what we're encouraging our life coaches to do is on weeks 1 and week 3 to have a hangout time where they have this physical one-on-one hangout time with their student. And it's face to face. It's not through Skype. It's not through FaceTime. It is one-on-one. You're there, the student's there, and it's some purposeful time together in a hangout context. It could mean a bunch of things. It could be going through our book Crazy Love that we have for Sync. It could be going shopping. It could be going shooting and looking for those natural, teachable moments that flow out of sharing real life together, like Jesus did when he was walking through a grain field, and he used that grain field as an analogy for a spiritual truth about sharing the gospel. And the field is white unto harvest, and he was using a real life situation, real life object of a farmer's field to be an arrow or an indicator of a spiritual truth. And there was a teachable discipleship moment where his disciples learned something about God and about the kingdom of heaven from a farmer's field. And so we want to do and encourage Jesus-style discipleship at Sync as well. We think, hey, if Jesus did it, we should do it. And maybe we should take notes on that. And so we want we want it to be something that is real life together, but those purposeful discipleship moments and those teachable moments flow out of that in a rich, real, authentic way. And so that hangout time, the physical hangout time, is weeks 1 and 3 for about 1 hour. We don't want it to be less than an hour. And so that's weeks 1 and 3 is the physical hangout time for no less than 1 hour, doing something active or fun, or going through Crazy Love, or maybe doing something active that you both like to do together. Weeks 2 and 4 will be some form of contact, maybe a Facebook message, maybe a text, maybe something in the mail. I think snail mail is so cool because it's rare, and it's extra special because it's rare, especially in a world of high tech, texting and Facebook messaging and Skype and Snapchat. Something about snail mail is unique and rare. So weeks 2 and 4, we're encouraging there to be some form of just touching base with the student during that week. And so one more time review, weeks 1 and 3 are a hangout time, and weeks 2 and 4 are some form of meaningful communication between the life coach and the student. Maybe where the life coach says, hey, here's the verse of the week, man. This really jumped out at me in my devotions. I just want to share it with you, let you know I'm praying for you this week. Is there anything specific that you want to talk about or that I can pray for you about this week? And to have some form of communication that way. It could be text, it could be Facebook, it could be email, whatever. But snail mail I think is really good. And And so that's kind of the basic structure of Sync. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know or KayLynn know. Here's a little bit about joining Sync and how does kind of launching Sync work. Students are handpicked and invited to join Sync in organized and sequential waves. Right now we're in the first wave, and we have about 7 students that are going to be in the first wave. After the first wave is launched, we'll open up wave number 2, God willing, and we'll have a handful of other students and match them up, God willing, with a handful of other life coaches. And that'll be wave number 2, and so on and so forth. Students are handpicked and invited to join Sync in organized and sequential waves, and they're later carefully and prayerfully matched with a life coach. Also, students and life coaches have a window of about 1 month in which either can request a change if they want to. Then KayLynn will prayerfully begin the process of finding a new match for either the student or the life coach. And students fill out a Sync Get to Know You form. They turn that into KayLynn Pentecost. Students' parents agree to and fill out the parent permission form, and they turn that into KayLynn Pentecost as well. Both those forms go to KayLynn Pentecost. And so I just want to encourage all of us, be praying about Sync. That's a little bit of a snapshot about what Sync is all about and kind of some of the nuts and bolts of how it works. If you have any questions, please contact KayLynn Pentecost with that number I mentioned earlier. And be praying for God to do his thing in these life coaches and in these students, that this would be just everything God wants it to be, and that it would be something that disciples students straight towards Jesus Christ for his glory, and that it is something that doesn't leave students the same, where this is a spiritual growth catalyst in students' lives as God does this thing, and we want God to do his thing, and for this to be something that really mentors and disciples students in their faith in Jesus Christ and helps them grow in their walk with God. So be praying for that to happen. Thank you so much for your willingness to let your student be a part of this. Whether you're thinking about this or you've already said yes, or maybe you're a parent that will consider Sync in the future. Thank you so much for your heart for God and your heart for our youth group and for being a part of our church family. We love you guys a lot. I'm cheering you on as parents, and God bless you. Take care. Peace.